Hello, everybody. Good evening. It's Rashauna Scott. I just wanted to jump on here and go live. I hope you guys can hear me okay. I hope you guys can see me okay. So, what's up to my college connection girls? As you guys know, it is Money Smart Week, Financial Literacy Week. Sorry for coming on here a little later than originally scheduled. I think I was scheduled for 8, but I had a mandatory real estate course that I had to take. So, I wanted to come on here really quick and talk to you guys about the intro to investing, particularly the intro to real estate investing. Hey, what's up, Nene? Um, okay, look, I'm like, what does that say? I'm reading what the Facebook Live is telling me. I'm like, wait, what? Hey, how are you? So I wanted to come on here and answer you guys' questions. I know a lot of you have questions. Hey, Tiffany. I know a lot of you guys have questions about investing, real estate, home buying. Hey, what's up, sis? Home buying and just all of that good stuff, all of the above. So I'll just start pretty much, I guess, a little bit about my background. Again, my name is Rashauna. I'm 26 years old. And born and raised in Chicago. I've been studying real estate for some years now, so probably for about 7 years. I first started my business. I first incorporated 7 years ago, and then I got my real estate leasing license. So I learned a lot about the real estate leasing business. And I don't know if you ladies tuned in, but I want to say last year around this time, or maybe it was around July, I came on here and did a webinar with you guys. Hey, Nicole. I came on here and did a webinar with you guys about leasing and the things, when you're getting your first apartment, some of the things to look out for. So again, I first started working with tenants and landlords about 4 years ago. Then I started investing in real estate. So my very first private investment, I was able to invest some money into a deal, into a flip. It was a condo in Brownsville. I was able to put some money in and I earned a return. And that was the very first time in my life that I earned money by, again, investing in a project, investing and having the opportunity to be a part of something greater and something much bigger than myself. I had the opportunity to invest and earn a return. And I was like, oh, wow, this is great. This was easy. I didn't have to do anything but literally write a check, and so for me, and it wasn't a whole lot of money that I got started with. And gratefully through relationships, I was able to, again, get started in investing. So, any questions that you guys have, let me know. But yeah, we can definitely talk about the intro to investing in real estate, but we can talk all things real estate related. So any questions that you guys have, definitely pop them up there. Again, I'll be on here for a couple minutes tonight, but we're going to go ahead and get started. So the number one question that I always get in regards to investing in real estate. I want to get started in real estate, but I don't know where. I don't know how. I don't know how to start. I don't know what it looks like. And the thing is, one of the things is that now in today's world, everybody is watching HGTV. So everybody wants to flip a house. Everybody thinks they want to flip a house, but it's a lot more to it than you realize or than you think. I myself, I actually still have private investments that I choose to actually partner with other individuals on because managing a rehab can take a lot of time. So yes, that is one investment strategy, but it is not the only. So in regards to flipping houses, yes, it can be done. But if that is something that you desire to do, I definitely recommend partnering, and again, you can do what I did on my first deal and some of the things that I still do today. I partner and I'm able to lend money on deals and get a return. So I would definitely recommend that. Another investing strategy is buy and hold. So a lot of people like to go that route in regards to buying property and holding it for long term, right? So renting it out, being the landlord. And another thing, when I hear people say like, oh, I think I want to own property, or I think I want to be a landlord, I think I want to rent it out. I want you guys to understand that is a long-term strategy. Okay. So that is one major difference between flipping and holding property. Okay. So when you flip a property, obviously you buy it for cheap. You go in, put money into it, fix it up, and then you sell it for a profit. And this can take 4 months, 6 months, 9 months, a year. It really just depends on the market and how long it takes for it to sell. On the other hand, buy and hold strategy is where you're going to go in and rent it out, and you're not going to make, 30 grand or 50 grand one lump sum at once. You're going to earn that residual income over time, over the years. So that's a long-term wealth building strategy. Let's see, we got a question. What is the number one thing young adults should consider before partnering with an investor? That's a very great question, Miss Tiffany. And I wouldn't even say young adults, it's really anybody in regards to partnering with an investor. Definitely if you are able to have access to an attorney. I know as a young adult, it is difficult to either have access to an attorney or to find an attorney who you can ask questions to that aren't going to charge you crazy amounts of money and things like that. And there are a lot of attorneys that you can actually just schedule like 15-minute consultations with, and you can ask them some questions. So the questions that you would ask are in regards to partnering. The questions you would ask, you would say, the questions that you would ask the attorney is, what type of contract should I get when partnering? What should I be looking out for? What's the worst that can happen, right? And in regards to investing, whether you're investing in real estate or investing in the market, it doesn't matter where you're investing. But as young adults, and this is the same strategy or the same approach that I took. When you are investing, you should not invest more than what you are willing to lose, because nothing in this life is guaranteed. Okay. So if you are investing in, with an investor, when you're partnering, if someone is telling you, oh, they guarantee you, a 10% or a 15% or a 12% return, run away as far as you can. Okay. Because nothing in life, and especially real estate, is guaranteed. So yes, that is a great question, but yes, definitely, consult with an attorney. And again, I know it's difficult. It can be difficult because sometimes, attorneys are going to want like $200-$300 to, an hour, or maybe once you get a contract, you may want somebody to read over it. If you guys need somebody and you are considering, let me know. I got some contacts for you guys, who would, don't mind helping out and talking to young adults. And again, most attorneys will do like free 15-minute consultations. But that's a great question. That's a great question. Okay, so I was talking about the two top strategies in investing. So one, we talked about fix and flips. And again, everybody watches the shows on HGTV, so we're very familiar with what that is. Number two is a buy and hold strategy, where you are buying property and holding it long term, renting it out, and then you're cash flowing and building that wealth over time. And you may buy the property more than likely, as a young adult, you're going to buy the property with a mortgage on it. And it's not hard to get approved. I actually spoke to the young adults at UIC last month, and we talked about this, the steps of home buying and what it looks like in regards to getting approved. So you can actually get approved right now at a 580 credit score. You need at least 2 years job history. And your debt to income ratios want to be 40% or less. So pretty much what that means is, your total overall income, whether it's annually or whether it's monthly, it doesn't matter how you do it. Your total overall income, you don't want to have no more than 40% of that, as debt. So let's say, you make, I don't know, $3,000 a month. Whatever 40% of that is, you don't want to be paying out in debt every single month. And I believe the number actually just changed. It might be 42 or 43 or something like that. But you want to make sure you stay around that number or less. Again, anything or less, you're good. You're good. And you won't have a problem getting approved. But yeah, so keep those things in mind. The other thing, another strategy is house hacking when it comes to the buy and hold. That is very, 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 very popular these days. Because house hacking in regards to first-time home buyers. And again, there's a bunch of first-time home buyer grants out there for you guys. But in regards to first-time home buyers, the buying power that you have as a first-time home buyer is significant. You know, when that's because once you purchase at home, that's probably going to be the biggest amount of debt. No, I'm sure it is going to be the biggest amount of debt that you have, maybe aside from student loans. So the buying power that you have in that is definitely significant. So house hacking has become a more common method because instead of buying the condo or the townhome or the single family home, but most people do like the condo or the townhome for their first purchase. Instead of doing those, what people are doing are buying 2 flats, 3 flats, 4 flats, and they're going in and living in one unit and renting the other one out. And now they're able to let the rent, pay the mortgage on their properties. And so you don't have to worry about mortgage. You definitely don't have to worry about rent because you own. And that's able to go towards your mortgage. And then, it's a way to live mortgage free is what I call it. And that is a very, very popular strategy nowadays for millennials. Actually, probably I would say probably 85% of my clients love that strategy and do that strategy, the house hacking. Okay? All right. So definitely that is a form of investing in real estate because you are, again, you get to move into a place and you are living, like I said, mortgage free. So that's definitely a strategy. The next strategy, the third strategy. So we talked about flipping, we talked about holding. A third strategy in real estate, the third most common strategy is wholesaling. And that's the other thing. A lot of people didn't know that there's different strategies to investing in real estate. I did a 7-day real estate challenge back in January, and that was the number one response that I got was I didn't know it was many different ways that you can invest in real estate. So you have to be clear. When you talk about you want to invest, you need to educate yourself on the different types of investing methods because there are many. And the ones that I'm going to touch on tonight are just the 4 most common, but there's many, many more than that. You can invest in doing auctions, short sales, probates. Like there's a lot of different investment strategies. So I suggest, researching some of the ones that I'm talking about tonight so you can learn more in detail about them. Okay. So the third one is wholesaling. So pretty much what wholesaling means is you are going to, locate an individual who is looking to sell their home, and usually it's a distressed seller. And what we call in real estate a distressed seller pretty much means that it's somebody who is looking to sell their property fast, quick, in a hurry, immediately. More than likely it needs some work. It's in terrible condition and somebody needs to come in and they can buy it at a great price and probably come in and fix it or rehab it. So you're able to make money by being the middleman in that transaction by bringing a buyer and the seller together. So if you guys have heard in real estate before that, you can invest in real estate with no money and no credit, it is absolutely true. It is absolutely, absolutely true. But, I always tell people that, you're missing the third thing. No money, okay, no credit, okay. But the third thing, you have to have education. You have to know what you're doing because, if you're just sitting around with no money, no credit, you're going to be twiddling your thumbs saying, okay, well, I know I can get started in real estate, but how? You have to educate yourself. Okay. But that's one way. That's one strategy by wholesaling, by bringing a buyer and a seller together, and you can put your commission or your fee or whatnot in the middle. And there's many, many ways on how to go about structuring that business because that is a business and a technique in itself. A lot of questions are, well, how do I find the buyers? Or how do I meet the buyers? Or how do I find the sellers? How do I meet the sellers? How do I get into the properties? How do I protect myself? What types of contracts do I use? So there's a whole business model around that. And I would say a fourth way to investing is private investing. So private investing, and that's what I talked about actually in the very beginning of the conversation when I was introducing myself. Private investing investing is where you can invest your money and do very little to no work, really, is really what I did. I just signed a check and then I was able to earn money. My money made money for me. So for me, that was a great strategy, and it still is a great strategy today because I'm able to focus on other things. And like Tiffany said, the number one thing young adults should consider before partnering with an investor. Like, I was a young adult. I guess I probably still am a young adult. And still creating partnerships today, but making sure that I cover myself in case of like the what if situations, right? And making sure I get the contracts and, like I said, all the questions I answer, all the I's are dotted, T's are crossed. So yes, she laughing. Yeah, I was like, yeah, I guess I still am a young adult. But yes, so make sure all the I's are dotted and all the T's are crossed. But yes, so those are your 4 most common investing strategies. The other question that I get in regards to investing, a lot of young adults say, I'm so young and how can I get started? And the first thing that I say is like, well, I'm 26. My first investment was when I was 23, I think, 23 or 22 or something like that. And this whole young thing, we kind of got to get away from it because it really doesn't matter as far as the age. I think it just matters in regards to, if you're ready, and I think there's somebody else that's coming on this week that's talking about budgeting, so I won't go too far in depth with that. But I will say having a serious, committed budget will help you reach those goals. One job that I was working for a very long time actually let me go a couple years ago, and I was able to sustain myself and continue investing, continue my lifestyle, all of those amazing things, continue doing real estate because I had a very hefty budgeting and savings plan. So, those are some ways that you can get started in investing. It's like, oh, well, I don't have the money. Well, you can save the money, and especially if you make the money and you're just not budgeting it or putting it the right way of where it should go. So definitely budgeting. And credit. You can invest in real estate if you have good credit or if you have decent credit. The 3 main ways that one can invest in. So like I said, so there's 4 different types of investing strategies, but 3 main ways that people can invest. Obviously, cash is one. Credit is another. Most people don't know or didn't know or don't understand that you can invest in real estate. There are ways, again, creative ways on which you can invest in real estate by utilizing your credit. You're able to get, this is another one of the strategies that I love because I did this myself. I got 0% interest credit cards, and then I invested in real estate. So that's other people's money at 0% interest. So essentially that's free money that I'm investing and making money on top of that, making money on top of other people's money. That's the number one wealth principle. So credit is another way that you can invest. And what I did was I partnered. I want to say that was my second investment that I had ever done, and I partnered with the developer, and my credit cards paid for some of the materials and the construction. So, there's a saying out there that money is never made or lost. It is simply just transferred. So when I do my public speaking and when I talk to people about money and wealth and all of this and that, I say how much of that is being transferred to you. What does that inflow look like? Because we have to start thinking about in real estate, individuals, investors work a lot with the banks. Okay. And banks are going to be making their money all day long. It's transactions, thousands, hundreds of thousands of transactions going on every day. And again, OPM is one of the number one wealth principles. So let's say, I wanted to go in and flip a house. I'm not going to use my own money. I'm going to use a loan. And instead of going to the bank to get that loan, I can actually work with an individual or multiple individuals that look like you and I. And instead of I say, hey, Tiffany, okay, Tiffany, I'm looking to raise $50,000 for this project, and Tiffany's like, I got 10 and, I got 5 on it. And Kenyatta's like, well, I got 15 or, whatever the case. Like, we can collectively come together and get some things done and get a project done. And you're able to earn a return on top of that money. Okay. Because that's exactly what the bank is doing, guys. So, I talk about it all the time. I say, become the bank and, become familiar with these systems because it can definitely be done. I feel like I'm rambling. Let me see. Let me check the clock. I've been on it here about 20 minutes. but I don't want to be rambling, but I did want to just come on here and break it down to you guys. Again, the intro to investing, pretty much what that looks like, how I got started. People are like, oh, you're so young. But I took the time to educate myself, and I'm still educating myself. I'm sorry, I forgot to mention I'm a licensed broker as well. So yes. What's up, Tiffany? Thank you to my real estate sis. So yeah, I feel like I'm rambling, but I just wanted to pop on here again, like I said, for just a couple minutes to answer you guys' questions. I know it's kind of late. I'm sorry. I had a real estate class, mandatory real estate course that I had to attend, but hopefully you ladies will catch the replay. And if you do, please drop your comments below. I would love to answer them. And I think that's it. I think that's all, folks. So if you guys don't have any questions, I am going to hop off for now. And until next time, have a good night.